Survey: over 80% Americans are critical of Chinese regime's global role. Nearly 40% see it as the enemy. Australia encourages businesses to diversify from China. Another Chinese wolf warrior was caught following many pornographic Twitter accounts. Preventing losses: Chinese companies play tricks to fire employees.
Most Americans are critical of the Chinese regime's global role and don't see much effective cooperation between the two sides, as there is an easing sign between Washington and Beijing on many fronts. According to a Pew Research Center survey published Wednesday, April 12th, a large majority of U.S. adults, 83%, keep having negative views of the Chinese regime, while 44% have an unfavorable view, up 4% since last year. The survey found that 38% of Americans also view China as an enemy of the US, rather than a competitor or a partner, an increase of 13% from a year ago. Americans also have significant concerns about the Chinese regime's geopolitical role. After Chinese leader Xi Jinping met his counterpart Vladimir Putin during his Moscow visit last month, 62% of Americans see the China-Russia alliance as a severe problem for the US, up 5% since October. Few Americans have confidence in Xi Jinping for his role in world affairs, as nearly half say they have no confidence in him at all. The actions of China on the international stage have also drawn criticism from Americans. Approximately 75% believe that China interferes in the internal affairs of other nations, does not consider the interests of other countries like the United States, and does not advance global peace and stability. Tensions between China and Taiwan are also Americans' top concerns, with 47% describing them as a very serious problem, a 19% increase from 2 years ago. Human rights violations by the Chinese regime are also a concerning problem for around half of Americans. Americans see the China regime benefits more from the current bilateral economic relationship than the US. About half of Americans, 47%, see China benefits more from the US-China trade relationship than the US, while only 7% think the US benefits more. Fewer Americans view China as the world's leading economy this year. Today, 38% of Americans call China the world's top economy, compared to 48% who see the US as the top economy. The Pew survey was conducted between March 20th and March 26th, and surveyed 3,576 American adults. Australia urges exporters to broaden their markets and reduce their dependence on China, 3 years after tasting Beijing's trade penalty. On April 12th, Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong spoke with Sky News Australia.
Has changed, and so making sure we do diversify our export markets is an important part of our national resilience. And so one of the difficult but important upsides of what we've been through over the last couple of years is that smart businesses have looked to diversify, and the government will continue to encourage that because we want to make sure we have diversified export markets.
As Reuters reported, Beijing on April 11th announced that the barley trade dispute initiated against Canberra had reached a new agreement. Following that, Australia suspended its WTO case, while China said it would fast-track its reconsideration of the tariffs applied to Australian barley exports. Foreign Affairs Minister Wong noted that businesses have been wise to diversify their markets over the past years, calling it one of the difficult but important upsides of what we've been through. She added, "The government will continue to encourage that, because we want to make sure we have diversified export markets." Under the deal recently reached with Beijing, Canberra has said it will carry on with the dispute process from the point of suspension if China does not abolish the barley tariffs. In a different interview with 9 News, Wong noted that even as Beijing has shown a positive gesture, both governments' economic and strategic interests will not always align.
The point is that we're not going back to where we were 15 years ago. We know that we want a more stable relationship with China, but we know we're not going to be able to continue to separate our economic and our strategic relationship. So what does that mean? It means Australian producers, whether of barley or wine, are going to have to look to diversify markets.
Speaking with Sky News Australia, she mentioned Australia's unchanged stance on the Taiwan issue. The Foreign Affairs Minister said, Australia's position is, very clearly, no unilateral change to the status quo.
After Zhao Lijian and Liu Xiaoming, Fu Kong, China's ambassador to the EU, was exposed on Twitter for following many pornographic accounts. These Chinese wolf warriors quickly became the outside world's laughingstock. A few days ago, Isaac Stonefish, a columnist for the Washington Post and CEO of Strategy Risk, posted a screenshot of Fu Kong's Twitter following accounts list, asking, "Does the Chinese ambassador to the EU at FuKong17 know that the list of accounts he follows is public? Several of the accounts he follows are pornographic." As the Liberty Times reported on April 10th, from Isaac Stonefish's screenshot, it can be seen Fu Kong has been secretly tracking several pornographic accounts, including a user claiming to be a nude body photographer in Japan. His posts are about naked women and obscene and sensational articles. Xu Wangjisheng cited some netizens jokingly saying, "I prefer him to be a pervert than a wolf warrior. I support his attempt to be a pervert." Fu Kong has not yet responded to this incident, but these pornographic accounts are no longer on his following list. It isn't the first time a Chinese Communist Party wolf warrior has been caught stalking pornographic accounts. According to Da Jiyuan, in 2021, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs former spokesman Zhao Lijian was found by netizens to follow a gay porn Twitter account and watch the account's live broadcast, which received a wave of ridicule from netizens. Also in 2020, Zhao Lijian was caught following former Japanese AV actress Sola Aoi on Twitter and even leaving obscene words under her posts, causing a stir in public opinion. In response, Zhao Lijian said his account was stolen. Another official, Liu Xiaoming, the former Chinese ambassador to the UK, was also found to have left a like on a Twitter porn video in 2020, causing ridicule from netizens and even foreign politicians. Liu Xiaoming then quietly withdrew the like and responded with the so-called standard wolf warrior attitude. Recently, some anti-China elements maliciously attacked Ambassador Liu Xiaoming's Twitter account through the internet. This is a blatant and despicable trick. We urge the Twitter community to investigate this seriously and hope the majority of netizens will not believe these rumors and spread them.
China's current shrinking economy is forcing major companies to lay off employees. Recently, a medical technology company in Wuhan, Hubei province, requested to check employees' phones under the pretext of catching a traitor who leaked the company's confidential information, according to Quan Tech. Despite their reluctance, employees handed over their phones for inspection. However, the next day, the company wanted to recheck their phones. This time, an employee named Lin refused to comply. The company then accused her of seriously violating the company's rules and regulations and neglecting duties. She was subsequently fired without any compensation. The company refused to pay Lin's February's salary and forcibly checked her bag when she was evicted from the office. Lin is now applying for arbitration of workers' rights. Some lawyers believe checking employees' chat records on WeChat violates their personal information rights, privacy rights, individual dignity, and even the third party's privacy rights. Some netizens assumed the so-called traitor catching is merely a trick for companies to fire employees without paying their salaries. As Hong Kong 01 reported on April 10th, a Zhejiang citizen complained that she was fired on her first day of work. The company said they sent the job offer to the wrong person. Some citizens shared similar experiences, saying, "I've experienced the same thing while searching for a job." The Chinese Communist Party, CCP's 3-year COVID lockdown and increasing isolation from Western countries have severely impacted China's economy. As a result, many large companies have had to lay off employees to prevent further losses. As NetEase reported last month, Huawei laid off 7,000 employees and suspended its hiring. Another major Chinese telecom company, ZTE, laid off 10% to 20% of its workforce. A netizen recently posted a video saying, 2,176 Japanese companies have withdrawn from China. Yakusawa Electric, the world's largest manufacturer of AC inverter drives, servo and motion control, and robotics automation systems, has withdrawn capital and cut its production, and tens of thousands of people jostled at Beijing's Maju Bridge to apply for a job. In the video, the netizen said the wire and cable factory where she worked is struggling due to a lack of orders and does not know how long it can survive. Many other industries are facing similar challenges. They cannot receive foreign orders. Many small factories also had to close. More and more people are looking for a job. Tough days are approaching. The unemployment peak may really be coming.